So there are two major questions that we have regarding Dexter. With the first question being the most important question, how is he free? And the second question, how is he even alive? Let's start with how he's even alive, or how he could be alive. As New Blood ended, they left the ending kind of open-ended just in case they wanted to bring Dexter back. Because they never really showed the after process of when he got shot. They just showed him getting shot and falling on the ground. But as you can see in the first episode of Original Sin, he's getting rushed to the hospital and somehow he is able to survive. But how is that? He got shot in the heart, right? So in this clip, an interview from Dexter, he says it's really cold out there. But what's that insinuating?
That was confirmed at the end of New Blood, that he was dead. So
Was it? It's really cold out there.
So apparently, when it's really cold out and you get shot or somehow you're bleeding and there's a potential that you could bleed out, the cold will actually slow that down tremendously of how it would be otherwise. So say through all that, he beats all the odds, he lives. But that goes back to our first question. What now? How is he free? How is he able to just walk across the streets in New York without a care in the world? Doesn't care if anyone sees him. It's like he's a free man now. It's like everything that happened back in Iron Lake never actually happened. I mean, he killed Logan, right? So I have a theory for this. And this theory is going to be quite similar to Season 5 of You, if you're familiar with You. As you know, Dexter is back in New York. And from the stills of the show that got released, a lot of the show takes place in a hotel. My theory is Dexter met some very influential people with a lot of money. In the hotel that we see in the stills, and the information that we have from the characters so far, it's really giving like a killer hotel vibe. So we know Dexter's going to be tied up with this hotel in some sort of capacity. We're not sure what yet, but it will be very interesting to see and get actual answers of how Dexter is free and able to do whatever he wants. And we're going to see a couple different villains involved in this hotel from what I've seen so far. We got Uma Thurman and Peter Dinklage. What their roles will be or what their MOs will be is still undetermined. But this will be a spark of Dexter and his dark passenger. As you know, Dexter can't control himself when he sees someone killing. Or if he sees someone that fits the code. But he's going to need to be very careful if he doesn't want to end back up in jail again, right? But going back to the hotel, how did Dexter even end up here? Remember his son Harrison, right? Yeah, Dexter wasn't just going to let Harrison go. Somehow, Dexter ends up in New York, tracks down Harrison, and Harrison's working at this very hotel. So what's Harrison even doing in New York, working at this hotel with all of these killers? Did they take Harrison under their wing? Is Harrison expressing his dark passenger now even more? A theory could be Harrison is kind of taken under these people's wings in the hotel and kind of manipulate Harrison into thinking that they're helping him, and when in reality, they're just using him. Because as you know from Dexter New Blood, Harrison's very vulnerable. He has a lot of trauma, and if you know how to exploit that, you can use him on your side. But then again, that's just a theory. He could just be working there normally. We don't know. But if you're familiar with Dexter, there's always some sort of twist. There's always something going on. It's never just normal in Dexter. But I want to backtrack a little bit to when Dexter wakes up on the hospital bed and he's alive. So somewhat recently, Jonathan Lithgow, aka the Trinity Killer, Arthur Mitchell, from the original Dexter series, came out on an interview and said he will be returning, sort of as a phantom in Dexter's head. So Dexter will be seeing Trinity for an episode, kind of as his dark passenger. It will only be an episode, as John Lithgow said, but still, it'll be really sweet to see Dexter and Trinity's relationship after whatever happened to Rita. As you know, Trinity killed Rita. This will sort of be really heavy on Dexter, having Trinity as his dark passenger. I think everything that we have seen so far revolves back to this singular hotel. Something is going on in this hotel, and it's going to be up to Dexter to figure out what it is and to figure out how to stop it. And he's got messed up in it somehow, I'm sure, but he could just be playing the long con to save Harrison and just run away with him again. But as you know Harrison, he will want nothing to do with Dexter. So where is this show really heading? what's the end game for the season for Dexter? So I think where we're heading in season 1 of Dexter Resurrection, I think they're heading sort of to a point where Dexter wins back Harrison in some sort of way, and they kind of go on again as like a father and son duo. And Dexter teaches Harrison how to control his dark passenger. Actually, this time, as Harrison gets older, he realizes this dark passenger's not going anywhere, and his dad was right. He needs help controlling it, or he's going to end up in jail, or worse, dead. And who better to teach him than his dad? And as you know, Dexter's also hallucinating Harry Morgan this entire season. So who's better to teach him than Harry Morgan and Dexter? But if I know one thing that I want to see in this series, is Dexter to go back to his true roots, prime season 1, 2, and 3 Dexter. Getting people on that table again, having relationships with people, not being totally off the rails, and him saying his final words, "Tonight's the night." I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as there will be more videos like this involving Dexter and other TV shows. Please be sure to comment what you think, and if you have any theories of your own, I'd love to read over them. And again, thank you guys for watching.